Okay, hopefully it's recording my voice. Hello? Hello. I better go check. Uh, let's see. Hello? 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 Okay. It sounds really staticky. Hmm. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. I'm not going to make this long. Anyways, I haven't been on forever. Done like anything on camera. So I just wanted to say happy Mother's Day and making another career change for the millionth time, going back to another old job, going back to Walmart. I was excited when I first joined the post office, but turns out it's not worth it, and it was kind of putting me in a hole more than anything, stressing me out. So my life's kind of been a mess. You can kind of see the tables a mess in the background. Everything's a mess in here, but um, I worked at Walmart for like over a year ago, and when I left, I was basically I used like all my sick days and stuff. It wasn't like I really got fired for doing anything wrong. It wasn't like I quit because I hated the job. It was just kind of like circumstances. I always thought Walmart was a good job, benefits wise and everything. I thought they treated you like a person, really. And you can't say that about a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs are just like a number, and like for the post office, you're definitely just a number. So I don't want to bore everybody with all the details and stuff, but I was having to get a second job, and it's just my life was just chaos, and I figured it wasn't worth it. And I'll go into more details sometime. I don't know if I will now, but Walmart is paying considerably more than they were when I worked there before a year ago. When I worked there before a year ago, I was making like $12 an hour, and now the base pay for Walmart is like 16 an hour, and for what I'm going to be doing, meat and produce, they're paying 17.20. Like on the overnight shifts, they're paying like 18 something. I was making 18 something hourly for the post office, so that's going to be pretty good money. And I'm not going to be paying for gas, and I'm not going to be having vehicle repairs all the time. I've got a vehicle on the shop right now that needs a new intake gasket. It leaked antifreeze all over the place during a mail route, and I had to get it towed, and that sucked. But I got sick of that, just getting put in the hole with vehicle repairs and everything. So it was great when I first started getting tons of hours, and then it slowed down a lot after Christmas, and it was just going to be a struggle to keep hours, and it's just not worth it because to become career, you have to wait for somebody to retire or die. Basically, like they'll never retire. So the best thing that I was looking forward to was being able to hold down like a smaller route myself, but I'd be making just as much working at Walmart basically. So at this point, so I'm happy about it. So it's a good change for me, I think, because I'm going to be going back to second shift. Walmart has the hour lunch break, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but I did like that I could read the Bible during my lunch break because I had a whole hour lunch break, and I could read the Bible on my break, and I thought that was a good thing, and that's something that I want to do again. So it's going to be less chaos for me. I've just been through a lot, especially in the last few weeks, because I transferred from one post office to another because I thought things were going to be better for certain reasons, and I was working a second job at a grocery store, and I was working like day and night, and it was just, and the post office was making me late for my second job. And at the end of the day, looking at my checks and stuff, it wasn't even worth it. And then having another vehicle go in the shop, and it's like, somebody that I used to work with at Walmart ran into me at County Market, and she told me, you should come back to Walmart. She's like, I left and they rehired me, and she's like, they're paying like way more now, and it's a lot more relaxed and stuff. And I was like, I'm kind of stupid if I don't apply, but I wanted to hold on to the post office because you think that it's a good job and stuff, but in the end, it's not going to be for me right now. So uh, going back to Walmart is going to be a lot better. So I'm excited. And anyways, today is Mother's Day. I spent all day with my mom. I spend a lot of days and a lot of time with her anyway. But I hope you guys had a good Mother's Day. Whatever you did, I got my mom a jigsaw puzzle. The TV show Friends, she watches it sometimes, so I got her a Friends jigsaw puzzle because I thought it would be fun. And she never really does jigsaw puzzles, and this is a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. I was sitting there trying to help her. We're trying to get like the border for it and all the edge pieces, and that was kind of a struggle. We didn't complete it all the way yet, but we got it almost done, the border. But I'm glad I got to spend a day with her. Anytime you get to spend with your parents, I know not everybody gets along with their parents, and people have different situations, but a lot of times we need to be forgiving too, even if it's a struggle. But you never know, we don't have our parents forever, so it's sad, but yeah, I've just been struggling with finances. It seems like for so long, it seems like I always think something with the next step will make things better, and it seems like it never does, but I do think that this will be better. I'm really excited. I'm starting orientation on Wednesday, and they're probably going to start putting me right to work after that. So I'm so looking forward to it, and it's going to be more relaxed with, I want to wake up by the alarm again, and I can get things done in the morning if I have to, because that was a big problem with the post office. Sometimes when you were working 6 days a week, you're getting the money and stuff, but you're always waking up early. I had to be there at like 8:30. It used to be earlier than that, but 8:30 wasn't horrible, but it's still early. But you could never do anything during the morning, or the afternoon. And like if you had to go pay bills or you had to go do something, like you couldn't because you'd be like locked to chain to the post office. So it wasn't really great. And then having to work like every Saturday, all the time. Saturday morning always. So I don't know what my schedule's going to be like as far as like what days I'll get off or anything, but I'll be working second shift, 1 to 10 p.m., and they give an hour lunch break, and they give two 15-minute breaks, and you basically get a break like every 2 hours at Walmart. So it's going to be so great. Oh, I'm so excited to go back. I'm really happy about going back, actually, because I know the money's going to be coming in, and I can finally take care of myself more, because I got some debt, my vehicle in the shop, little things like that, and I have a vehicle that I'm paying off. But it's not debt like a lot of people have, like major college debt or credit card debt, or paying off a house or whatever. Like all my stuff, if I had like a couple of grand or something, I could like pay it off. Like it's not really huge, but it was really causing me a struggle. When my hours weren't, when I wasn't always getting hours, and it was like I would get some and then I wouldn't, and then I'd have to pay for all the gas, and that would be expensive. Like it's just nuts. I'm gonna be so excited. I have to drive to Walmart, but I mean, I can fill up my tank. It's like $60 to fill up my tank, and I could probably do that going back and forth to Walmart for at least a week or more. You know, I figure I'm gonna make probably about 1,200 every payday, every 2 weeks at Walmart. So I'll probably make about 2,400 a month, which is pretty decent for Walmart. I mean, that's pretty good, and that's going to help me knock down what little bills I have. So, but that's just been my life, and I just can't wait to where I can get to a point to where I'm not like every day thinking about how am I going to pay this bill that's coming up, or how am I going to do this, or how am I going to get this back, because that's what it's been like. So, anyway, praise God. So a couple people are watching. Somebody gave a like. A few people are on here. So I don't really know what to say. I wanted to get back on here, and I need to get my Spreaker account back. But I'm going to plan on start doing Bible studies, you know, on my lunch breaks at Walmart, I'll be reading the Bible more. So I think that I'll be able to get my life back on track because it's just been crazy. The post office has been a great experience, and I did get a lot of good things done. But in the beginning it was good, but it got to the point to where holding on anymore was just going to do me more harm than good. And it's like you just got to learn when to let go. And I was, blessed to have an opportunity that Walmart's paying so much more, and that they would take me back. And I didn't know if they'd take me back, but they did. So I have to make the best of this. I have to stick with it, and I think that I will. I don't really see. Of course, you never foresee like all the bad stuff, but I mean, last time I was there, it was pretty good. I went to first shouldn't went to first shift because they come in at 4 in the morning, and I have to drive there, and I was having to wake up at like 3 in the morning, and that's ridiculous. And I knew it was going to be ridiculous, and it wasn't just the fact that I was tired or anything like that. There was a lot of other things that went on, but and then the winter came. But my whole last experience at Walmart was all during the COVID time. So everybody had to wear masks. Everybody had to get temperature checked when they came in. So it was a crazy time to work there. It was a crazy time to be alive. It was stressful for a lot of reasons. It was depressing. And now I'm going back, and there's none of that stuff, and I'm going to be making good money, and I think it's going to be great. I think I'm going to be happy. I'm going to enjoy it. And I think my life will improve, and it's always been my plan to do better with studies and stuff like that. So that's always my plan when I get to a good position to do so. Um, so I'm excited, and I've been keeping an eye on some of the people that I used to watch a little bit, Brian Denlinger and Steven Anderson and stuff. I saw that Brian Denlinger posted a video where Steven Anderson got like raided because people called him in and said that there were like bodies everywhere or something. And I apologize if anybody's listening. This is really scratchy. I don't know why. I need to work on that, but it could be because this is plugged in or something too. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know if that would make anything better or not. But I'm glad that some people gave it likes and have tuned in, but I don't really have a whole lot to say right now. Just that I hope that I'll start getting on here more. Hey, Amber. How's it going? I don't think I've ever seen you before on this channel. But nice meeting you. Thanks for the emojis. Hope you had a happy Mother's Day. Honestly, what I did with my mom is I bought her the Friends jigsaw puzzle. I went there, we put it together. We started putting it together or whatever, but we went shopping a little bit and got our medicine and stuff that we needed. And we watched a couple movies, and then we watched a wrestling event, and we watched a show that we like. So we sat in front of the TV the whole time. But I'm trying to get my mom away from doing that stuff. So I did get her a treadmill for Christmas, like a cheap one. Like none of them are cheap, but she's been loving that. And then I recently bought her a little ab machine that helps you do crunches basically. And that's kind of tough to use. So I don't know how she's going to use that, but I'm wanting to get her like some kind of gardening stuff to help her get outside more. She does like sitting outside, but I want to give her like more activities. And that's why I tried with like the jigsaw puzzle. But I'm just saying that because I just said that, we just sat in front of the TV all day, but I want to go fishing and take her fishing too and do a lot more outside stuff. So, but I like movies and stuff. So obviously, I mean, I want to build my movie collection more. You can buy a movie, at the pawn shop or whatever for like 50 cents or $1, but I haven't done that for so long because my finances have just been wild. I'm just like, I can't buy movies like that. Like, even though they're like dirt cheap, like I don't want to get into that. And I miss it. And there's a lot that I, want to add. And sometimes I do look through them at the shops and I'm tempted, but I'm like, no. So anyway, thanks for the likes, guys, whoever's liking this stuff. I don't know if it's real people or just bots, but yeah, I want to do studies. And you know what? I used to watch a lot of debates with James White and stuff, and I'd learn from these debates. How's it going, Richard? I tried to text you a while back, but I don't know if I had the right number. But thanks for everything. I've been. I used to love watching the debates, like Christian debates, or like a Christian debating a Mormon or a Christian debating a Jehovah's Witness or whatever. But I saw the other day that there was a debate with like a capitalist and socialist. I'm kind of interested in watching that socialism versus capitalism debate. It's kind of random that I say that, but those are on YouTube for anybody else who's interested in that. They've got a long debate about that subject, and I'm interested to learn more about that. Did you have a good weekend, Richard? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been doing any studies or anything. Honestly, really. I need to. I feel like I say that every time I'm on here, but most of my days are just waking up and either working or panicking about, how I'm going to take care of things or just trying to relax and just watch TV or something because I just want to get by. I don't know. It's ridiculous. I'm sick of it. It's not how I want to live. Even though things could be far worse because, I'm not like homeless or anything, but you found an 1888 Morgan silver dollar. That sounds pretty fancy. I don't know anything about old coins, but silver dollars are pretty cool. When I used to work at Casey's, we would get some silver dollars or we would get the dollar coins, like the gold, whatever. They're not gold, but, the bronze or whatever dollar coins. And we would like to keep those. Some people would want to keep them. But where did you find that at? That, like the old dates, just makes me think of. I've been becoming a sports fan, so I've probably mentioned that. But I was watching the other day the White Sox and the Red Sox, and the White Sox won right at they went into an extra inning and they won. But kind of a White Sox fan because I'm from Illinois. But my friend told me that I should look up this documentary about like the 1919 White Sox or whatever they called them, the Black Sox, because they threw a World Series game. They conspired to throw the game for money. Like the players were paid like $5,000 each or something, and they let the other team score. That's crazy. But 1888 would be before that time, so that was even older. They're saying we'll be out of electricity by August. Who's saying that? There's a lot of like an hour away from me. They have a lot of windmills, like the stuff that Obama probably started, like for power. These huge windmills, and they slow down the roads like when they're transporting them. There's like semis with like the windmills broken down and stuff before they assemble them or whatever, disassembled. And anyways, I was wondering, like, they're supposed to save energy or produce energy, or they're supposed to save money, or they're supposed to be more healthy to the environment or whatever. I don't know, but I wonder how much money like they cost to make and to upkeep. And maybe they are better. I don't know, but it made me wonder. What do you expect throwing a game, Chicago? I think the White Sox are doing pretty good right now. But yeah, that's pretty wild. You're from good old Arizona. I don't know. some of the Arizona teams. I don't know if I could name any Arizona team on any major league sports thing. I don't know why, but I'm trying to think. But Lake Mead is 3 feet above Deadpool. The Cardinals. Oh yeah, is that the football team or is that the baseball team? I mean, the St. Louis Cardinals are the baseball. So the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, are the football team. I thought that was funny when I watched football because I didn't know that, and I was like, "There's only one Cardinals to me, and that's the St. Louis Cardinals for baseball." Which I'd really love to go see this year. I've never been to a baseball game. I did go to a college basketball game. I went and saw the Fighting Illini, and I went to like a minor league hockey game um, close by the Peoria Rivermen, and that was fun. So Deadpool means no turbine turning. So what are you saying about we'll be out of electricity by August? I know Denlinger keeps talking about famine. Are there actually like food shortage supplies, food supply shortages? 40 million people will not have electric. I think they don't want us to have electricity. I do have to thank God that my electric bill, for whatever reason, they didn't charge me this month, but I think it's because I had a deposit. But I'm wondering how long that deposit's going to pay out. It'd be nice if I didn't have to pay for like the next 3 months, but it was probably just that 1 month that I get a free ride on. But I think my deposit's coming back into effect. The lake is shrinking by 4 foot a day. That's feet, right? Or inches with the one. Yeah, I definitely need to update my website. I've pretty much abandoned my website. I pretty much abandoned the YouTube channel. Unfortunately, it's not something that I like. But I don't attend a local church. I've thought about trying to find some more. I know there's no perfect church, but to me, I did have a church that was close to me that I did think was the closest to perfect, but it's so, I live in a rural small town, and so all these churches are small. All right, unless I want to drive. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze probably. So, unless I want to drive, they're all small churches around here, or unless I want to go to some huge college liberal church. So there was one that was close to me that was a Baptist church that was King James only, and I really liked it. But I guess there were some things I didn't like about it too. But it does kind of stink that they're all like tiny. Like in one way, some people might like that it's like a close knit family, but then it's like I don't know. Sometimes you want to go in and inches. Okay. Well, I don't know the difference between inches and feet with those marks, but thanks. I learned now. So that means inches. Okay. It's like even like the small stores, like me and mom went to a small store that like I never go into because she was wanting to get like an elbow pad for this new ab machine that I got her. She said it was hurting her elbows or whatever. So she wanted to get some elbow pads like from Walmart, and I was like, why don't we go to the sports store, just for the heck of it, we're out and about, and let's just go in here and see if they have anything, and so we went to this tiny sports store, and it's like as soon as you go in, they're like, hey, like, can we help you with anything? It's like you're bombarded like instantly because it's so tiny, and it's like sometimes you just want to go around and look around and just not be bothered by the clerk or whatever. But it's kind of like that's kind of like how it is in these tiny churches. It's like when you walk in, they're like, "Oh my God, we've got somebody. We got to keep them." Like you get bombarded, and like on one hand, it's like it's kind of nice, to have like a small church family like that. But then on another level, it's kind of like it's almost too personal and small, maybe. And that's like all we have here. And the majority of the time, there's not going to be people my age either. And I mean, I've always hung out with older people in my life all the time. But, that's kind of an issue too. It's like there's not a lot of people that are kind of similar, except for we're all Christians and believers in Christ. But you're not crazy about the King James only IFB churches either. Yeah, I don't know. I had my reasons for not wanting to go there anymore. I liked the sermons a lot. Like, I did like the preachers' sermons and stuff a lot. I don't know. And they were supposed to go soul winning. Like, they were supposed to be a soul winning church, and I wanted to do that. I really wanted to. And we never did that together for whatever reason. They weren't, like, doing it at the time. I don't know. Okay. Thanks, Richard. So I was right then. I thought the one tick was the foot. I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't sure. So, I mean, I've looked at some of the small churches in my towns. When I first started going to church, when I grew up and everything, it was like an Assembly of God because I was always across from that. And in my town, we've got a number of churches. We've got a Church of Christ. We've got like a Methodist church. We've got like a Baptist church. Um, we've got an Assembly of God. So, I mean, there's probably 5 churches or more, or 6 churches. I don't know. They're all tiny though, like I said, and it's just, a handful of elderly people basically is all it is. And I don't know. It's just I might venture into some churches again sometime. I've always thought about it, but I probably have to try the Baptist church in town. And some of these churches have YouTube channels and stuff, my local churches, and I've subscribed to them and I check them out every now and then. I still keep an eye on the Assembly of God that I used to go to sometimes. So, I mean, all churches have their hand out. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things about the independent fundamental Baptist church that I went to, like right at the beginning. They wanted to I can't think of the words, like renovate the church building. They wanted to like renovate the church building because it needed fixed up and stuff or whatever. Like it was in pretty good shape, I guess, but they wanted more or whatever. I don't know. So they're always adding on to the buildings. But the preacher handed out like slips of papers, like for us to make a commitment of like how much we were going to pay or whatever. Like you had to make a commitment of like some amount or something. And it was like, I don't know. But I forgot about the whole soul winning thing. Like I wish we would have done that because that's kind of what I wanted to do. Yeah, all the churches and the money is always going towards like the building. I mean, they do have, missions. Sometimes you see that. And, yeah, the money can go towards that. And there's people in the churches that, but there's so much like that goes into the buildings alone. I don't know. I know there's a lot of good Christian people that go to the churches, and I know that there's a lot of good sermons and stuff. Obviously, that's how I learn. That's how I've learned a lot of scriptures, the sermons. So I just said that if I was going to go to a local church, that there's just a lot of things, particularly that I would, want. And I like a lot of stuff that Steven Anderson does with his church. It's just a lot his teachings that I don't agree with a lot of, But I do agree with a lot of, you know, the way he structures his church. Like he doesn't separate the kids from the family. The family goes to church together. They all a baby or a kid that makes a lot of noise, like to a room to where they can still like hear the sermon, but they can be quiet from the rest of the people. If God built the house, wouldn't he take care of it? Yeah. An independent Bible church. Yeah, I've always thought it would be cool just to have like gatherings of people, too, just to do Bible studies, like home Bible studies or whatever. I don't like the idea that a lot of the pastors think that they are like the kings of everybody or whatever. Like they like to lord it over the sheep, like the Bible says or whatever. That was kind of always the impression that I had. I mean, kind of like tyrannical sometimes. And whenever their authority gets challenged or whatever, they can really go off. It's a hard thing to do, though. I mean, whenever there's going to be people, there's going to be issues. So, but there's a lot of good that can come from the church building. So I'm not saying that there isn't. I just don't know, what's right for me right now. I guess, maybe it's hard for me to commit to some things too. Just like, switching around from job to job. It's like I'd probably switch around from church to church because I don't know. But I do have some pretty strict views that would kind of prevent me from like going to like the Church of Christ or something. You have to look back to the beginning to understand the end. So, are there any studies that you guys have been studying? So, what do you guys think about the Roe versus Wade thing? I mean, I've seen it celebrated as a Supreme Court overruled that. We're all obviously anti-abortion, right? A Southern Baptist Church. Yeah, and then see the Southern Baptist Church, a lot of those are Calvinist, so that's kind of the issue to me. But I mean, you can still get a lot of good sermons. Like I've learned a ton of good stuff from Calvinist believers, but I don't agree with the Calvinism. But that would just always be on my mind while I was there. It's like they went woke on you. The Southern Baptist Convention or whatever, they kind of are woke, aren't they? The same thing they did back then or what they're doing now. Yeah, I haven't went to a church building for years, honestly, to be honest with you. I don't remember what the last time was. I've thought about it and I've considered about it. Happy murdering Mother's Day. Yeah, I've checked into the churches around here. I don't know. You got me thinking about it more. I don't know. It's just kind of a crazy world to get involved in, and I was one of the people who was there like every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, every Bible study Wednesday. I was there. It's not final just yet. What's not final about it? Not one person had a Bible, not even the preacher. Yes, that was the thing about like the Assembly of God. Like I can't say that about the Baptist church because they were like a Bible church, but like the Assembly of God was terrible. Like the pastor would he would pass out notes and stuff, but like nobody would pay attention to him. Nobody would have their Bible out. It's just a draft. Okay. See, I haven't really looked into it a lot, but I know there's a lot of people already celebrating like it is finished, so they're kind of prematurely celebrating. Well, then I hope it does go through. I mean, I thought that was one of the strong points of Donald Trump, where he was kind of more the anti-abortion candidate. Whenever they had that debate, I thought that was really one of his strong suits. And, I saw something that said that Trump was one of the only presidents that spoke during the March of Life, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Easter Sunday is a huge church day. I didn't go. It's hard for me to think about what I even did on Easter. I don't know if I did anything. You should know in June. Well, that's good. That's pretty soon. Yeah, and I've thought about that, going to a church building for Easter. I thought about, going for like the Christmas play or something, but and it's really crazy about what happened during COVID with all the churches too, because they didn't want to have services because of COVID. So I knew people who did go to church like all the time, and then when they stopped because of COVID and stuff, they haven't really went back into it. Like, I'm sure that wreaked some havoc on the churches. It'll just return to the states. Each one will make their own decision. I live in Illinois, unfortunately. It's a very blue state, so maybe in Arizona you'll be lucky. I remember like the whole soul winning thing. Like when I was going to this Baptist church, like I said, I wanted to do that, and so I had a neighbor that moved in. She was like a younger girl that had a kid, and I asked the preacher's son, like he preached there too. He went to Bible college and stuff, and I talked to him a lot. And I told him, I wanted to go soul winning this, and I'm like, why don't we, go and talk to this neighbor that moved in, and he's kind of like, well, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? So, we went there, and I don't know how, we approached her exactly, if she knew that she was saved or whatever. And I remember what he did basically was just invite her to the church, and he's like, "Yeah, we have like a Easter egg hunt for the kids or something." I think it was Easter around that time, but he just started like appealing to like how her kid could have fun there and stuff. It's like, okay, I thought we were trying to like win her to the Lord, not get her to the church or whatever. Oh, all about it, but I know that I live close to Missouri, and Missouri is pretty hardcore against abortion, aren't they? I think that they have been. I don't know. Illinois is terrible, though. Not saying I would move out of Illinois if I could, I guess. I don't know, but my parents are definitely keeping me here. But I know there are better states. But I live in the rural area, at least. Yeah, I can't believe how they're just legalizing drugs and legalizing crime. They're, legalizing theft basically to a certain dollar amount and the great Bible hoax of 1880. Move the words around how. Have you guys been hearing a lot about catalytic converter theft? Because I know that's kind of been a big thing here. I guess it's been a thing for years, really, but I'm starting to notice and pay attention to it. I know that our town has some problems with meth, and the people like to cut off the converters so they can get money for it. It's pretty ridiculous. It makes me mad, and I know a lot of people don't have cameras and stuff, so they don't catch it, but I'm kind of going off on a tangent. But what was the Bible hoax? What was the best job and the worst job that you guys ever worked? Had a big bust out here on that, on the catalytic converters or the theft or meth. Yeah, the catalytic converters, I've heard that they'll just hit up like car dealerships or businesses and they'll just go by and just cut them all off. They get like a couple $100 for them. Watch the documentary. I'll have to check it out. I'll look at it later tonight. The Bible hoax. Sounds like a conspiracy. Is it legit? 1880. Awesome how they move the words around. That's pretty much what they do with all the different versions of the Bible, isn't it? Man, I still got all these books that I need to go through. I got this topical textbook that's sitting up here that I've been wanting to utilize a lot for a long time, and I haven't as much as I should. All this is a great book, though. If you guys are ever interested in this, but it's all free online too. You can find it free online. But I wanted the book actually. But Tori's new topical textbook gives you references for all these different topics to where they can be found in the Bible. Yeah, the difference between the KJV and all the rest. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's some Bible that I have, like some contemporary English version or something. Before I really like learned much about the King James Bible or anything, like I was gifted a King James Bible by my mom, like right when I was getting into scripture pretty much. I don't know if it was like the first Bible that I used because I don't know what the first one what you used was, but she gifted me this King James Bible. Like I knew like that it was legit, but I was trying to help somebody who I thought wouldn't understand the King James Bible very much. So I found like another version, like this contemporary English version or something. I thought it would be helpful to use that, but I read through it and I was like reading Proverbs or whatever, and just how much it changed it was like, it was like not even reading the same, thing. And it didn't even make sense at all. So I've still got it back there. I could find it actually. Which one was that? It's such a mess in my room. Oh my goodness. I have these extra Bibles down here. I don't know, was it this one? No. I ended up collecting like every version of the Bible that I could. I don't know if I do know where it is. Is it this one? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it is the contemporary English version. I just wonder. I marked a lot of stuff in it. Like I used to like mark where they made changes. I put these clips. Huh. Puts it all on Christ's faith. Right, yeah. They turn it into a works. Hmm. I was just looking at this Proverbs that I went by. What was that? 14, verse 15. Hmm. It says, "Don't be stupid and believe all your heart. Or don't be stupid and believe all you hear. Be smart and know where you are headed. Only a stupid fool is never cautious. So be extra careful. Stay out of trouble." Hmm. I don't know what some of the good examples of how messed up this was. Hmm. Yeah, the NIV was what the good old Assembly of God used, but that was the funny thing too. Was the Assembly of God, whenever he would pass out those notes, like he would use like every Bible version for like whatever purpose he was wanting to get across. He would use like a different Bible version. It's so weird to me. But you know what? He was basically printing off sermons from like Rick Warren's website because he was like a huge Rick Warren fan, the Assembly of God preacher. So, hmm. Hmm. I was going to compare some of these verses, but Textus Vaticanus and the Sinaitic text, which was found in the trash heap at monastery. And that's what they use for some of the Catholic versions. Right. KJV came from the Textus Receptus. Hmm. Yeah, something that's kind of interesting, I guess, is that when I transferred to the second post office, I had one of the guys that I was working with. I thought he was kind of a cool guy. He was loud and kind of egotistical or whatever, obnoxious, but he was helpful and he was good at his job and stuff. So that's great. As far as like a coworker, I thought he was pretty good. He's only a couple of years older than me, but he was a regular. And so like I rode with him so he could show me the route. We rode together a couple of days, so we talked a lot, and he was very anti-Christian. So, but I found out that he was talking about how some family was homeschooled, like their kids were homeschooled, and they didn't get along with their mother because she was really religious or something, and he was saying how he didn't think it was right to homeschool, and I said, I said I think it's a good thing as long as it's done right and everything. I think the kids still need to have interaction with other kids and stuff. They shouldn't be like kept from society, but I think that there's a lot that's wrong with public schools. So, I don't think that all homeschooling's bad, but anyway, I was like hearing these things that he was, I found out, he's like a liberal left wing person, but he said that, I don't even remember the whole story, but basically he lost his father at like a young age. And I think that he kind of had a grudge against God because of that. He's like, I don't believe in God or religion or anything like that. And I could definitely tell that I think it was because of what the trauma that happened to him. So it's just kind of random, but I thought I haven't had a whole lot of spiritual religious things going on in my life lately. It's been more of just living through the motions, sadly. But that kind of sparked something in me when I heard him talking about that. Atheist. The Vatican I was found in the basement of the library in the Vatican. Both were found in 1880. Yeah, that's really interesting. I used to listen to a channel, and I mean, I still subscribed. I need to check them out. But there was a guy called the Bible Protector. He was really detailed about the King James Bible history and stuff. I know that Steven Anderson's documentary is pretty good on the King James Bible. Holy Spirit or atheist, you choose. I'd go with the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Yeah, atheists are something else. It really, you know, I listened to the guy from Creation Science, or what, Ken Ham or whatever his name is. He talked about how basically, atheism is a religion because everybody has a view on God, either like God exists or God doesn't exist. It's still a view on God. And so, even though they don't want to believe it, like it's still, they hold to a religion. And it's so crazy how, like, anytime anybody mentions religion, like, most of the time they're talking about Christianity. They don't like God, the real God, the God of the Bible. There's like so many religions, like Islam and uh, Buddhism and all that other stuff. But, when they're talking religion, they hate religion. They hate Christianity. Hey, King's Table, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, I just haven't felt like I had much of a reason to really be on here lately, or the motivation to do anything like this, but I feel like I will be soon, and that's why I'm doing this now. I'm going to have a breath of fresh air in my life again, finally. To where I think that I can get to where I can start enjoying life more. Yeah, with these atheists, man, just like the whole abortion issue, it's just, we all go through slums in life. Yeah, I know. It's just always a series of ups and downs. Mine's just been trying to find the right job that's going to work for me, that's going to get me by. I've done a lot of job hopping, and I've done a lot of working and getting nowhere, and that's not good. So, but I guess it's kind of a minor thing in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, the world's full of atheists. They don't want to do or hear anything about God at all. Start talking the Bible to them, and it just enrages them. I guess that's where prayer comes in. You just start praying for a lot of people. My prayer life has not been good, honestly. I used to spend so much time praying every night for people that I didn't even know, really. Just, somebody who I met in the day, I'd pray for them. Like, I used to be good about praying for my enemies. They keep saying the church is going to be raptured. I want to know which one of the 2,500 denominations or cults is the right one. Yeah. I don't know. You know how I'm not a really believer in the rapture, but that's just my take. But I did see that Steven Anderson has some pre-trib rapture arguments debunked. I'm kind of interested to listen to that, even though I don't believe in a rapture. I always like to listen to every argument, for the pre-trib or against it, for the post-trib, for against it. It's good to listen to every argument and every angle that people have taken. So I'm kind of interested in that one. Hmm. The whole idea of the rapture, though, is, why would it exist? Because why would certain people not have to go through death? I mean, the Bible says that, every man's born and every man's going to die, basically. I mean, if Jesus died on the cross, why would anybody else not have to go through that, experiencing death? But I guess it's more because people don't want to suffer, right? After they rejected the gospel, it's really about being there for them, to be an example. Sometimes actions speak louder than words, especially if they've had bad encounters with Christians before. That's true. Yeah, I tell these people, and no Christian's perfect, and I feel like, a lot of people who meet me, that, they're going to think that I'm not like a lot of other Christians that they've met. And a lot of Bible believing Christians aren't, like we were talking about the church buildings, a lot of people who go to those don't even read the Bible, or care. And, maybe not a lot, but some, I guess. We which are alive and remain, yeah. Yeah, some people just hate God, though. It's just like nothing would get through to them. It's just, I don't know. Hmm. I'm thinking about my neighbor right now because there's a neighbor, and I live in apartment complexes, so there's like a neighbor that's like an apartment next to me, and I know that he has messed around with drugs before, and he has like a lot of drug traffic coming down here, and not saying like he's a big time dealer or anything. Like I don't really know what the situation. Just know that he's like dabbled in it, and he might be moving away, so I'm kind of happy about that. But it's like I've always thought about how frustrated I am all the time. Like I'd want to pray that like the police would catch these people who are like selling drugs, who are, you know, robbing people, they're converters and everything. But it's like I should be praying for those people too that are doing it. I get so focused on the justice side a lot of times. I know how they can hate God who they don't believe exists. Yeah. And then it's just the whole hypocrisy and stuff with their views on morals, like what's moral and what's not. And, you know, drugs, or, this shouldn't be illegal, but this should be. And it's like, well, then it doesn't make any sense. Their views, aren't consistent. two preachers on YouTube see the destruction that's going on in the world. Is that supposed to be like the two preachers in the book of Revelation? You think COVID was preached specifically in the Bible? Yeah, it's like I don't know how to deal with that people, like you said, that we're supposed to be an example. I know the Bible says that too. Hmm. It's hard to want to talk too much religion at work or anything, or politics or whatever, because it's also controversial and somebody will snap and try to get you removed or something. Two guys spreading the word in Afghanistan. That would be pretty dangerous. I mean, Pakistan's a pretty hardcore Islam country. I have seen documentaries on that, and I've talked to a lot of people over there. And yeah, the Christians are like the street sweepers in Pakistan. They clean the streets, and they only get like the low end jobs or whatever, and they don't get paid. They're horrible to Christians over there. I mean, they kill them basically. They get it done. Then there's a lot of fake preachers over there too that you got to watch for. There's a lot of scammers. Pakistan's a crazy, crazy place. I would like to see that. I've seen how the children do like the brick work over there. It's basically like slavery, like child slavery, pretty much. Also, there's a lot of child prostitution over there. Like young boys get used by like bus drivers or whatever. I watched a documentary on that. It was pretty sad. These kids get hooked on drugs and then they prostitute themselves. It's just terrible over there. I mean, it's like that all over the world, but I mean, it's pretty bad. Pakistan. When they say safety and peace, I don't think we're living in safety and peace now. Not with the guy with dementia who's running the show in the United States. His presidency can't end fast enough. Hmm. So we're gonna have July 4th coming up, couple of months. It's gonna be coming summertime. I'm just thinking. Sorry, kind of silent. Don't know if you're still there, Richard. I might get off of here soon. They actually pay the slavery bill for the families to get out of slavery. I don't give to anyone, but to these guys I do. The guys in Pakistan. Yeah, it's terrible over there. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is to fix all that. I mean, obviously, the solution is always Jesus, but I don't know. Islam is a terrible, terrible, demonic, false religion. I know that a lot of people see y'all be blessed by the best. All right, you going? Hey, I'll be on again soon. So I'll see you guys again soon, all right? It's midnight here, so nice chatting with y'all. God bless.